What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. 4-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Mets just do what they do against the Diamondbacks, beat them. I think I before the game, I think Mike on the scoreboard doing the pregame show said the Mets have beat the Diamondbacks 18 of the last 22 times they've played. Today will make it 19 out of 23. Complete domination for a team that is competing for a wild card spot. We talked about this. Like, these games still matter for the team. These games are still important. We're playing spoiler. Good to see the Mets are playing some good baseball here. You guys see we're back at Citi Field as well, which is nice to be back here doing an episode in the theater. Make sure you guys are following us on our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the New York Mets YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, what's going on?
Pretty good. Not wet.
Not wet. The wet episode's going to be like one of the last series of the year, either Marlins or Phillies, we've decided.
Yes.
And we got to get you the full jersey as well.
I want to do both at the same time. I think that Marlins series, we're going to pinpoint that. I think it's either it's a Thursday night to just do both.
Yeah.
And
just go home wet.
Just be wet in a hat and jersey.
Yeah, we have no John here today either, so that's part of the reason why. John's got to be able to see it.
Of course. I think he just wants to be the one that dumps the water on me.
Definitely a little bit.
I mean, it's Indiana only lost by 20 points. That's a win.
That's a huge win for Indiana football. But this series, like, overall, pretty good one.
Really good one. Again, it's funny that this team, the Diamondbacks, has been one of like the feel-good stories in baseball all year, and the Mets have just completely destroyed them with every chance they could. 6-1 against them now in the season series. 3 games in Arizona we swept back in July. 4 games here we swept. Also, kind of funny, all housekeeping stuff. We're not doing the episode in Citi Field Sunday because I'm going to a wedding. The same wedding of the bachelor party I went to in July, that was also when the Mets were playing the Diamondbacks.
That is weird.
That's really bizarre. Those are both happening the exact same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, little coincidence.
Yeah, right? Big coincidence. Degrees of coincidences.
Yeah, I guess.
There could be small coincidences and big coincidences. No, but it was a really good series. And it's funny that the Mets, as what's ever happened this year, you come up against 2 pitchers who are some of the best pitchers in baseball on Wednesday and Thursday, and Zach Allen and Merrill Kelly, and just completely obliterate them.
No, it
run through them like nothing, like paper.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. The more you think about it, the less sense it makes. You know what? We'll just take it. There was like a lot of good things that happened in this one. And starting off with game 1, this one was like probably the weirdest of the bunch, to be fair.
This one was a little weird because it got, I'd say, a little bit overshadowed by something else happening in New York on Monday Night Football with the Jets. It was a weird thing.
You want to like just talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
You need to get it out?
Too early in the episode, but 2 minutes of football. I'll put the timer on right now. Stopwatch, ready to go. There's a lot of Mets and Jets fans out there. I'm sure you guys all had pretty crazy run of emotions Monday night as Aaron Rodgers brought the American flag out of the tunnel at East Rutherford on 9/11 and took 4 snaps and ruptured his entire Achilles.
Crazy.
It was bizarre. And then the Jets miraculously coming back and winning the game. Vito, Jets fan too. We know he knows we're going through here. John, also a Jets fan, not here today, but it's just a surreal thing that you just can't have nice things.
Yeah, it really hurt my fantasy team. I was really banking on Rodgers having a great year.
No one cares about your fantasy team. The New York Jets have gone through 50 years of anguish.
Commanders.
And for 1 second, we had the chance. For about 4 minutes.
4 plays.
When it was happening. It was like 9 minutes total from him with the American flag to him in the blue medical tent. It's shocking. And then you have Zach Wilson, who, by all intents and purposes, we're going to get every single chance to like win football games for this team. Just looked so afraid. And like there were some videos that went viral because he did come back and win the Jets.
He did. They
really
did win.
Emotional victory. It was really cool to see that. The fans were still good the whole game. Everyone was like just really excited. But there was a clip that went viral with Zach Wilson and the other Jets receivers, and they were like patting his shoulder blades, telling him how great he was. Like he was like a kid or something.
Need a little pep talk.
Yeah, but it's just we can't have nice things as Jets fans. I was so sad the whole day Tuesday. It really just hurt my week. It was hard to sleep on Monday night after watching that whole thing happen.
Yeah.
And like waiting for that MRI. And it's just only a minute, 20 seconds. So it's just, you can't have nice things. The Jets are cursed. We'll never be great.
Me and my dad, not Jets fans, but we were watching the game on Monday night. My dad looks at me. He's here in-house for the episode watching.
Shout out Mr. Luino.
And he was like, I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not right.
Yeah, and especially the fact that like Vinny Testaverde was like the honorary captain. He did the same thing in 1999 after he took the Jets to the AFC title game the day before. And that there was an Edwin Diaz connection to it too. Oh, the day that Aaron Rodgers officially signed with the Jets was the same day the World Baseball Classic where Edwin Diaz went down.
Yeah, tough.
It's just, if you're a Mets and Jets fan, like you know the pain. It never goes away.
Misery.
This is life.
I tried to get away from it, but being a Washington fan doesn't really help either. It's just as bad.
It doesn't. Yeah. Seeing ghosts. Ghosts of Jets past. Even like the Favre thing too is like so funny in context because he only played the 1 year and his year got struck by an injury too. And the Jets missed the playoffs and they started out like 8-3 or something.
You told me, you said, I still don't believe it's real.
Yeah. I told you the whole time. I let myself get excited just when the game began. He came out of the tunnel and I was with our buddy Drew, and he's like an honorary Jets fan since he moved to New York, and then it just happened. I was like, this is why I didn't get excited. This is why I never believed it. This is why I never really bought in.
2 minutes of football. Now
Done.
we're back to baseball.
Yes.
Let's talk about this one. Jose Quintana on the mound for the Mets looked pretty decent. Definitely not one of his better starts. Had gotten in trouble a little bit of traffic on the base paths, but being able to minimize that damage, I think something we're going to just be used to with Jose Quintana.
Yeah, just even the start, we definitely didn't have his best stuff. Still got through 5 innings. Still only gave up 2 runs. There were a lot of base runners, but no one really hurt him that bad. And just the only Diamondback that really was able to get to him and get to Mets pitching in general this game was the inevitable Tommy Pham.
Yeah, of course. He had an incredible series.
His return to Citi Field. He was taking pictures of Alex Cohn before the game. Everyone seemed happy to see him, and he just played an unbelievable baseball game once again. He was 3 for 5 on Monday night to start what was a really good series. He really pushed the Diamondbacks over the edge in the only game that will eventually win this series. A double, a home run late to tie the game, and 3 balls in play hit over 103 miles an hour.
He's a good ball player.
He's a really good ball player.
We got to see him for half a year, and we knew how good Tommy Pham was. Glad to see him helping Arizona. It's good, but
he's the only guy pulling any weight in that team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, today we had a little bit of a flashback where it was like, man, it's like 3 innings, and Tommy Pham's the only guy with a hit.
Yeah, it was 0-0 in the 3rd inning on Thursday, and it was only 1 hit, and it was Tommy Pham single in the 1st. And we're like, yeah, I remember what that feels like.
Yeah, Ronny Mauricio smoked a double as well, which was nice. Just continues to hit the baseball hard.
And
just good baseball player.
Jeff McNeil, his first of 2 home runs this series.
Swinging the bat a lot better, Jeff. That OPS,
Yeah.
I don't know if it has officially gotten above 700 again, but it was like hovering around 695, 698 area. Hit the home run today, which should help.
699.
699. Jeff, we got to get through that 700.
And 266 batting average.
Get that to 275, 700.
The year's going to turn out fine for Jeff. But yeah, again, this game Monday was a little bit like dystopian, but based on what's happening with the Jets, like on the other channel.
100%.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Of course, we had to watch one of my least favorite players in baseball right now, Paul Sewald, get that save, which sucks. I was really hoping he was going to blow it. He got a little hairy. Got a little hairy, but he got out of it.
Paul Sewald is an expert of the hairy save. Two men on a 2-run game or something, like tying run will get to first base, and then he'll find a way.
I still watch him, and it doesn't make any sense. There's really nothing different than when he was here, and he's just better.
Slider's different. The fastball's a little harder. We could close the book on Paul Sewald.
Yeah,
he didn't
now.
get back in again.
No.
But Tuesday night, game 2, Mark was in the park this one. Really, really fun night at Citi Field.
Mark was in the park for Bark in the Park?
Mark in the park for Bark in the Park. Bark in the Park was pretty amazing. The Simba cam was awesome. Shout out to you guys for thinking of that. That was incredible. I don't think anyone here actually. No, John.
No.
Yeah, no. All right. You guys in general.
Well, we shout out the Mets people that
shout out the Mets.
aren't here.
Yeah.
That was really good. Like it was like hysterical to be in the stadium, and I don't know if they instructed the people who brought a dog, but when they put on the Lion King song, everybody just lifted their dog up like Simba. I don't know if there was a memo that went out, but great planning, great execution, viral clips.
Also, hockey night in the ballpark.
Yes.
Yes.
Big one for John.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that when Ronny Mauricio hit his home run that we'll talk about in a little bit, they played the Ranger goal song rather than the Islander goal song. And I kind of feel like that was probably a lot of John's fingerprints.
Gotta be John.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's no way John would allow.
The Mets contingency, I feel like leans, especially like you guys working a lot, like I feel like it leans Islanders.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
And I think a lot of people do a little bit of work
That's
for the
what I
Islanders
said,
as well, yeah.
That's what I mean. And also the colors.
Blue and orange.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny though. But cool, hockey night, Bark in the Park, just keep everything fun there. And most fun part of this game, I think, was Jose Buda.
I mean,
Lights out.
Lights out. We were talking in our group chat, and I was looking like through the box score and everything. Jose Buda has 16 swings and misses through 4 innings.
Yeah.
Like what? What? Like where did this come from?
Wound up with 17 in 5 innings, with 7 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, and this guest start was just fastballs and changeups. The thing that got Jose Buda to the major leagues originally. That was the main scouting report with him always. And like again, like his velocity kind of tapered down as the game went on, but he still sat around 95. And the last fastball he threw of the game was the second hardest he threw of the entire game.
Okay.
And it was about 2 miles an hour harder than the previous fastball he threw. So really was able to dig deep and get that last pitch out. And like the Diamondbacks just really didn't. It seemed like they couldn't figure out which pitch was coming because the fastball was really good at getting the called strikes and the changeup was really good at getting swing strikes. Specifically that changeup, 13 swing strikes. That is the 4th most swings and misses for a changeup by any pitcher in a single game this season.
God.
Yeah, right?
Do you know who the others were?
It was a lot of guys tied between like 13 and 17.
Okay.
It was like Cole, it was Jordan Montgomery, it
Garrett
was
Cole.
not Garrett Cole, Logan Webb,
Okay.
maybe Cole. It was a lot of the guys who have like very good changeups.
Yeah.
But Jose Buda was in there. Command was really good. There was a really good graphic I put on Twitter on Wednesday where all of Jose Buda's fastballs were in the upper third of the strike zone and all of his changeups were in the lower third. A lot of them caught black on both sides, and Diamondbacks hitters had no answer.
These are the things why you watch these late games in September. You start to see a guy who could very much be a part of this rotation next year. The way he's pitching, for sure. Like, you talk a scale of confidence of the guys that are maybe fighting for these last few spots, Jose Buto's right around the top.
Yeah, we're getting to the spot where it's hard to doubt him anymore either because he comes out every single day. And while it is still probably someone who's best pitching between 3 and 5 innings, not able to extend past to get to 6 or 7 yet, mostly because that third pitch is still trying. We've seen the cutter, we've seen the slider. They're coming along, but sometimes he seems like he doesn't really have a feel for them. And the velocity is such a big deal for Buto, and they kind of usually, again, falls off after 60 to 80 pitches. There has to be a role. There has to be a role for a guy like this. He's pitching super well. The development, we tell you guys all the time, development is not linear for these pitchers. There was probably a time where most Mets fans between the last 6 months and the last 18 months were like, I never want to see Jose Buto in a Mets uniform again pitching. But Mr. Luino probably says something like that too a time or two. If that's possible, right? Yeah, it got a thumbs up. And now you look at the guy pitching and you're like, oh, wow, there is really something here. It really goes to show that like there's no quitting these guys. You just got to keep going, keep grinding, keep getting better, and eventually you'll get an opportunity. And when you get it, you got to take it.
100%. And talk about guys who just seem to be getting better and better as the season goes on. Brandon Nimmo had quite the series.
Yes.
Extra base hits left and right. He had 3 extra base hits on Tuesday night, 3 hard hit balls, 2 doubles and a triple, scored a couple runs, got a walk. Been playing great defense out in center field today, especially on the last game of the series. There's a bunch of balls that were like kind of hitting the gap that he made look very routine. Easy plays. He's just one of the most underrated players in baseball. I say it every episode, I feel like, but he just continues to show why he got that contract, why he's leadoff, why he's center field, why he's a huge part of this team's future.
Yeah, Fangraph's being weird for me right now. I want to click. I want to see his stats since he took those few days off with the tired legs in August. But since then, so since August 1st, technically, a 293, 369, 536 triple slash, 149 WRC plus, so 50% better than the league average hitter with 8 home runs.
Okay.
And 10% walks, 19% strikeouts. That's an elite baseball player.
Good ball player.
That's a player who's a perennial all-star, those stats extrapolated for a whole year. And that's kind of what Brandon Nimmo feels like he's basically becoming as the season goes on.
Yep. Francisco Lindor, too, and Pete Alonso, a couple RBIs. That's just smacking around the Diamondbacks. It feels good.
Yeah, and 3 more hits for DJ Stewart. And the big exclamation point in this game, alluded to it before, was Ronny Mauricio's first career home run. And it was a mammoth shot deep into the Coca-Cola corner, 440 feet, 112 miles an hour off the bat, 27-degree launch angle with a nasty bat flip, and really watched that one, enjoyed it for a second. 8th longest home run by a Met this year, also the 8th hardest hit home run by a Met this year, and hardest hit home run by a Met that's not named Pete Alonso.
I mean, that makes sense. Yes. Makes a lot of sense. He hits the ball really hard. He's going to make Coca-Cola Corner his home, I think, for the foreseeable future.
The Mauricio mezzanine.
Okay.
Mauricio's mezzanine.
I think we can work on that. We can workshop that.
That was off the fly.
The marketing people can handle that.
Yeah, and as of right now, 10 games through his major league career, Ron Mauricio has put 28 balls in play. 14 of those were hit hard. 11 of those were hit over 100 miles an hour, and 4 of those were hit over 110 miles an hour.
I was sitting down the first base line, and off the bat, like, oh my God, like that ball made a different noise. It carried differently. It went so far. It was cool too because we could see who caught the ball because, of course, it was Ronny Mauricio's first home run. Caught the ball, security swarmed him, took him right out. They're like, here, go get yourself a signed back, get your signed jersey, get to meet him. Did we see if was any publication of what happened?
Not the same hoopla, I would say, as like, the Ellie De La Cruz like first career home run that happened earlier this season, where like the dude and his friends like held out for innings and eventually just got like a 19-person bro pick with Ellie De La Cruz.
Mets fans are salt of the earth. We're just happy to be there.
I want to give him his ball back. I want this young man to enjoy his evening.
Yes.
But it's really amazing what he's doing so far. He looks fluid in the field.
Looks really good at second base.
He looks very confident where when he's taking his hacks. He's not really even chasing as much as I kind of thought he would be, as much as like his minor league stats would indicate he would be. And we even heard, we'll talk about it a little bit, Joey Lucchesi just talk about the fact that in AAA, the automatic balls and strikes is a bit of a weird thing. Yeah. Especially going from that to the major leagues, like so not rapidly, just so consistently. Like it is very different. So maybe it's just like having a regular umpire again, doing that. He's also like, he is still chasing a lot, but he's really not swinging and missing much at all. And with that, he's not striking out very much. Like, this isn't a massive sample size, but 10 games for things, especially like chase rate and whiff rate, which are per pitch, like that's kind of settled thing already. Once you get to 20-25 games, strikeout rate is too. Yeah. And if he can have a year next year where he has a 50% hard hit rate and 20% strikeout rate, like there kind of is no stopping him.
It feels like it's become evident that the lack of walks is not because of a misunderstanding of the strike zone. I think it's just he's incredibly aggressive and just wants to hit.
It's also not really like a supreme lack of walks. It's 5% walks.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the idea that like, because the whole conversation with Ronny Mauricio was about his plate discipline. Yeah. About walking, getting on base. They want to see him do that more or whatever, whoever's saying that. And it doesn't seem like it's something that he's trying to not do. Like
No, of course.
you watch some guys who refuse to walk, like Luis Garcia or something like, or Javi Baez, and you're like, okay, I understand why these guys don't walk. Ronny Mauricio, you're like, oh, he's just really aggressive. He gets a pitch and he crushes it in the zone.
Yeah, like he's walking more consistently than, like, let's say a comparable player like a Mickey Moniak.
Yeah.
Who came up with massive physical tools, significantly older than Ronny Mauricio, but even in 300 plate appearance, he's walking 2% of the time.
Only
with
2%?
With a 35% strikeout rate. Ronny Mauricio is a 5% and a 20%. Like,
my God.
Salvador Perez, possibly a Hall of Famer, is walking 3% of the time. Everyone's favorite former Met, James McCann, 3% of the time. Like, there's a lot of guys in baseball who don't have the same physical tools as Ronny Mauricio, don't have the same hit tool, don't have the same natural power. Bo Bichette, 4% walk rate.
Wow, it's that low.
Yeah, even a guy like Ezekiel Tovar, one of your favorite
My
middle infield
boy.
prospects in the
I
league.
know he doesn't walk.
Also 4% walk rate and
Yeah.
a 23% strikeout rate with significantly less physical tools. One home run on the season for Ezekiel Tovar.
No, he doesn't
No,
have
it's
one
not your
home
weight. What is this? Mine
You have a different...
No, this can't be.
That's wrong. That's
Yeah,
incorrect.
something's wrong.
Regardless, Ronny Mauricio, absolute stud. Moving on to game 3.
Yeah.
Zach Allen on the bump, going up against Joey Fuego.
15 home runs. I was looking at Johan Rojas.
There you go.
One thing below.
A little different. But yeah,
Yeah.
Joey Fuego on the mound for Zach Allen. Little did you guys know it was going to be an ace-off because Joey Lucchesi, he makes starts for the Mets this year, and he's unhittable.
Yeah, no one can touch Joey Lucchesi. And shout out Joey Lucchesi, too, because he's had great results in the majors. He's been shuttled back and forth between majors and the minors a lot. Every single time he's come back and gotten this opportunity, he's taken advantage of it. 7 innings pitched for Lucchesi, only gave up 1 run, and it wasn't earned. Down to a 2.83 ERA on the season, 35 innings pitched. And that is a higher ERA than his ERA in AAA, which spawned the comments about him and the automatic strike zone.
He's made 7 starts this year. 2 of them have gone 7 innings. Like, what? What? I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect this out of Joey Lucchesi when the season was starting. And we talked to him, and one of the big things that he mentioned was like making this conscious effort to be able to go deeper into games by using the cutter to get softer contact, to get ground balls, and we saw that in this game. He got a ton of ground balls, a bunch of double plays to Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, not many swings and misses, 3 walks and just 2 strikeouts, but the Diamondbacks couldn't score anything up. Not at all. And that was kind of the theme of the series. The Mets pitchers just kept them really off balance, and the curve it up. And the other side, the Mets basically knocked Zach Gallen out of the Cy Young conversation. Someone who some people had thought was a favorite up until about a week and a half ago.
Crazy. Like, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Zach Gallen has always struggled against the Mets. I feel it in my bones somewhere.
You're on Baseball Reference. Go look
Nah,
it up. All right.
it's too long now. But
And it wasn't even like the Mets had one sustained rally and knock him out. They just were chipping away every single time. They got around the first inning with Lindor and Pete. Then Rafael Ortega hit a two-out RBI double out of nowhere.
6-hole Rafael Ortega.
Yeah, 6-hole Rafael Ortega. To get Jeff McNeil home from first base in a play where he literally flew into home plate.
I couldn't believe he was safe. It took everything.
Yeah.
It took everything going wrong for him to be safe there. Ketel Marte made one of the worst throws I've ever seen on a baseball field, and he was still almost out. But he was safe, so we love it.
This all happened just because I'm starting Zach Gallen in a really, really hotly contested fantasy baseball championship, and I knew the Mets had to get me back for that one.
You've had some big pitchers go and
I know.
really crumble for
really
you.
bad. Wheeler and Gallen are killing me this week. Shout out to Dan. He listens to the show sometimes, even though he's a Yankee fan. I know he's listening because he wants to hear my misery because he's beating me, and I want it so bad. And then Pete Alonso got 2 more RBIs later. Got up to 108 on the season. I think he also had 1 or 2 more on Thursday as well. Second most majors behind Matt Olson, and he missed almost a month of baseball, which is pretty amazing to think about. He's doing things from a run production standpoint that basically no Met has ever done.
No,
on a regular basis.
He's doing it all, and it's like, we know he's a better hitter too. Like, we're not an average podcast. We know that. But like, this is a career low average for Pete this year, and he's got 110 RBIs.
Yes.
Like, imagine if he were hitting 250, which is something that he's like very capable of doing.
I think last year was like closer to 270.
Yeah. So like, that's a guy. If he was hitting that, he might have 125, 130 RBIs.
There was a fan in the stands today who looked around at us very earnestly and was like, "You guys think he's going to get 600 home runs?" And I was like, I don't know.
It feels like a lot.
Like, I need the calculator to try and figure that one out.
You're making me extrapolate numbers across 12 years.
I got to work on my aging curve. I don't know.
I'm worried about Pete Alonso finishing the season strong. I can't think about 600 home runs. But like, he's in that category of just like, we say it all the time, elite power hitting first baseman in baseball history right now to start a career.
Yes, there's literally no doubt about it. The only guys who are even near on his level are Ryan Howard, and we looked it up recently.
Albert Pujols,
yeah.
Maybe I think like Eddie Matthews hit a bunch of home runs.
Eddie Matthews was too early in his career. And also, these are guys who kind of came up a little later as well. Albert Pujols, of course, because his age probably wasn't 21 years old. He started out in the major leagues, but he just hits the ball hard every single time and does a lot of damage. Another guy who hits the ball hard a lot and does a lot of damage, Mark Vientos.
Yes.
Hit the big home run to just put the nice cherry on top of Gallen's line. 6 earned runs. I love. Last 3 home runs now Mark Vientos has hit have been off Aroldis Chapman, Luis Castillo and Zach Allen.
Whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
go figure. And he got
happens.
that smoked double off Felix Bautista.
He did. Won't forget that one.
Like Mark Vientos,
Yes.
keep it up.
And
I think everybody's these guys.
Yeah, right. And this was a really solid game for Brett Baty. Multiple hits, a couple hard hit balls, then he leaves with the groin strain.
know.
Mild, day to day. The MRI came back pretty clean, so hopefully we do see Brett back this weekend. But very frustrating. They finally got it through a few times and immediately had to leave the game.
Against Zach Allen.
I know, yeah. Well, it's all right. And he was repping his buddy Garrett Wilson from Monday Night Football.
Of course.
Yeah, who just made one of the best catches I've ever seen.
That catch was disgusting.
so
He just smacked it up to himself.
on the same play, he played offense and defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally.
he deflected the pass and caught the touchdown.
He's a very talented athlete.
He's so good. Him and Brees Hall are so good.
So good.
Oh, God.
All right.
No more football talk.
Game 4.
Yes.
Game 4 in the building for this one. Kodai Senga.
Oh, my
Kodai
God.
Senga. Code Ace. I mean, we got to have a real conversation. Let's do the breakdown first.
Yeah,
But Corbin Carroll, Rookie of the Year favorite. Kodai Senga, Rookie of the Year contender.
for sure.
Those are the top two guys, I think, right now in the National League, right?
I don't even think anyone else is close. In a year where it's been, I think rookies have been kind of
Pretty good.
not routinely, like inordinately strong for a particular season.
Yeah.
And if Corbin Carroll wasn't doing things that basically no other rookies have ever done in the history of the game, and that's having a 25-45 season, the only other player in the history of baseball to ever do that was been Mike Trout, and that was 2012. And if you bring those numbers down to just 20 and 40, you have Mike Trout, Corbin Carroll, Tommy Agee, Met
course.
legend. Yeah,
Legend.
we did that with the White Sox before he came to the Mets in '66. And then Mitchell Page, who I've never heard of.
I've never heard of the name.
21-42 his rookie year, and he did not win Rookie of the Year.
What year?
1977,
Mitchell Page. What team?
Oakland.
Never heard of this guy.
Right? But again, this is a year where you look at Kodai Senga right now, and after his incredible start on Thursday, he's down to a 2.95 ERA. In a year where pitching has been a bit of a struggle for a lot of guys in the league with the rule changes. And maybe that's been an advantage for Kodai, not having to deal with the league before, now being able to just walk into the league
Yeah, but
after.
he still pitched in Japan.
No,
It's
for
not
sure.
like
Yeah, I know.
Japanese games are really long.
No, of course. I'm just trying to make things up right now, say some stuff. But 2.95 ERA, fourth lowest in baseball behind Garrett Cole, Blake Snell, and Justin Steele. So most likely both of the Cy Youngs, and then whoever in the NL doesn't win the Cy Young. And he's done that by walking into the major leagues and just automatically has had the best pitch in baseball.
I think it's without a doubt the best pitch in baseball.
It is the best pitch in baseball. The Ghost Fork still has the highest whiff rate for any individual pitch in baseball. It's been thrown at least 500 times, and it has the lowest soft contact, highest soft contact rate too.
Yeah.
I got confused my highest and lowest there, my double negatives and stuff. But a pitch that isn't hit hard, still has not even given up a home run this entire year, and they can't swing it, they can't hit it.
Well, what did I tell you today when we were sitting and watching him? He was cruising today. It was like one of the most relaxing, calming, like just low-key dominant starts that we've seen in a while at the stadium.
Yeah.
He just looks so confident on the mound, and I'm like, when are people going to figure out the Ghost Fork?
It doesn't feel like they ever will, because even a guy like Kodai Senga, who's been throwing that Ghost Fork a lot this year, this game on Thursday, this was the second time all season it's been his primary pitch in a game. And that both of those times have happened in September. So in his last 4 starts, 2 of those 4 starts, it's an adjustment make on the league. The cutter went up for a while. First it was a fastball, now it's the Ghost Fork. And with that Ghost Fork being the most thrown pitch in a game, he was throwing in the zone more. Second highest rate of in-zone Ghost Forks in a game so far this year on Thursday. And remember he got that really, really nice call strike against Gabriel Moreno?
That was an unfair at-bat.
It
That was
unfair.
messed up to do to Gabriel Moreno.
To another pretty solid rookie.
Yeah,
But
you like him more than me.
I think he's a good ball player. But he put a ride into one in his first at-bat, and then Kodai was like, you're going to try to hit me? All right.
Ghost Fork.
You're not going to hit me anymore. And one of my favorite terms when describing a pitcher that's like really cruising in command is they're in a rocking chair. And it really just felt like Kodai Senga was back and forth. Just get the ball, throw the ball, get the ball, throw the ball. He had 7 strikeouts by the time the 4th inning was underway.
I think the like Caesars like bet thing that they do in the stadium was like over under 3.5 strikeouts for Kodai Senga, and the guy was like over, and I think he got it out in like the 2nd or 3rd inning.
It was unhittable. And this Diamondbacks team that has a lot to play for right now. They had the infield in when the Mets were rallying in, the 3rd inning?
Well, that's something to talk about too. Is that like these games? We know the Mets are not technically out of contention, but it's going to take a lot. The Diamondbacks are very much fighting for it right now, and if you look at the wild card standings, I don't know if they've updated yet with the game today. They have.
MLB updates quickly.
Yes, they have. They are technically out of the playoffs right now. They are tied with the Giants and the Reds, theoretically, for that last spot. But the Giants, I think, on tiebreakers and whatnot, are technically ahead. So the Diamondbacks would be missing the playoffs. These games were incredibly important, and we saw some super weird decisions made by Torey Lovello in this series. One, if you guys were watching on TV on the first game of the series, where they let Tim LeCastro steal after he pinch ran. Steal second. He was the winning run. They just let him have it. And Gary was like freaking out. He was like, I can't believe you're letting the winning run get to second base. Like he was going nuts. Keith as well. But even today, he pulled the starters early in this
Sixth
game.
inning.
Like, I can understand pulling Ketel Marte because he does have injury issues.
And he was out. It was in and out the last couple of weeks. I think a knee thing. He's
And
always
he
had
looked
hamstring
slow.
stuff.
He looked slow this series.
Yeah.
But he pulled Tommy Pham. He pulled
Christian Walker.
Ketel Marte. Who else? There was one more,
There was
right?
one more guy. One of the outfielders. Because then he moved. And even that, you take
He took out Gurriel.
Yeah, and who's effectively been your best player all year, Corbin Carroll, and not take him out. You just move him to the other corner.
Yeah.
In the middle of a game when you're in a pennant race. Like, I'm not saying that you should be like, like we can win every single game, but like we've seen teams make 7-run comebacks in 4 innings of
100%.
games, and like
Have we?
and again, we're objective podcasters here. I don't think the Mets bullpen has anything to write home about. It's not like a team that's in the playoff picture can't make up runs against any like a bullpen in baseball. Especially,
And it was like the sixth inning.
It was the sixth inning.
So like chip away, and then you see what happens. It was just wild to me that they seemingly said, "You got this one. We'll catch you in Arizona."
Shout out to Colin on the PA who had to go through like over 3 different batters to get every single substitution that was made because Diamondbacks took 5 players out of the game.
He was going so fast, like now at second base, coming into the game for Ketel Marte is going to be. Will Jordan Lawler move there, and Geraldo Perdomo is at third, and
entering the game playing shortstop there, Arizona Diamondbacks, Jordan Lawler moving from shortstop to second base, Geraldo Perdomo.
pro's pro.
Yeah, and then he waited another bat, and he was like moving from third base to first base for Arizona Diamondbacks.
Emmanuel
Rivera taking the place of Christian Walker. It was like, wow, it took 3 batters to get it all done, but he did it. Yeah, professional.
Pro.
It was really weird that a team, especially we just saw the Diamondbacks last weekend in Wrigley Field. We saw them take 3 out of 4.
I've seen a lot of Diamondbacks in the last week.
And we saw the Pirates, who we just saw before we went there. It was really weird, but we saw this team take 3 out of 4 games from Chicago Cubs, a team they were chasing in the wild card race. And so it's not like they came in really limping. They haven't had a good second half in general. But this was a team playing good ball who had their 2 best pitchers lined up for its series with a team that has mostly fallen out of the playoff picture, even though it's a team that handled them in the first half. And we just kind of got them. And really, this game, Merrill Kelly's not really a name that will incite fear into his opponents, but he's one of the lowest ERAs in baseball. There's like 2 out of 3 years now he's done this. Like
until this game.
He still has like the 5th lowest ERA in the National League.
Oh, still that low?
Yeah, it's like 2.5. So, but then you see Brandon Nimmo get multiple hits on him, a double down the line, just like scored one down there. Francisco Lindor was on base, scored the run. Pete Alonso hit a home run. He didn't hit the home run. Jeff McNeil hit the home run. Jonathan Aruz hit a home run late. DJ Stewart got 2 more RBIs. Like
Jonathan Aruz, 2 more home runs than Tim Anderson.
Yes, good fact. Jonathan Aruz, 2 more home runs than Tim Anderson this year. And Juan Lagares has hit the ball harder than Nolan Arenado ever has.
True.
It's the one you take home with you.
that might be one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Even Mark Vientos drew a walk, 2 hard hit balls, got another hit, scored 2 runs. Like, everyone was just kind of doing it. And you look at this Diamondbacks team and you're like, why? What's wrong, guys?
I'm gonna drop a word for you.
Yeah.
A little bittersweet.
It is a little bittersweet.
A little bittersweet to see the Mets
half.
playing some good ball in September against like a wild card contending team.
Yeah.
Well, what could have been?
Well, because the funniest thing about this Mets schedule, the way it lines up the rest of the year, every single game the Mets are playing the rest of the season, including the last 4, are against teams that they theoretically are chasing in the wild card standings.
Yeah.
Between the Diamondbacks, this weekend's the Reds. We'll get to that preview in a second. Oh, we didn't check back in the estimate.
No, we'll take a look in a sec.
I'm still up 2. We'll figure that one out. And then Marlins, Phillies to close it out. Again, we're going to see the Marlins for the first time in 5 months. Oh, my God. I jinxed it so bad.
You jinxed it so bad.
The Aaron Rodgers thing. Oh.
Yeah. You said, wow.
I said he'd have 10 touchdowns by the time we play the Marlins next. I shouldn't have said that.
That's on you, dude.
I shouldn't have said
It's
that.
on you.
Oh, man. That'd be awful if we made a supercut of that. No, we probably can't do that. It's going to be too hard to find. But, wow, I can't believe I screwed that up.
And
that just hurt me so bad.
We were really talking about how we were so excited we get to play the Marlins later in the year twice because they're going to trade everybody and be out of contention.
Yeah, the opposite.
Why do we talk sometimes?
They got our closer, but he's not their closer anymore. And now Sandy Alcantara is not even pitching anymore.
It's just like
it's a whole
chaos.
It's a whole mess.
We talked about it too at the game. This like wild card race, just the postseason feels so weird right now.
So blah.
There's nobody wants it.
This is kind of the other side of the coin with the expanded playoffs, where to some degree the teams that are fighting for these last few spots are theoretically not that good.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I describe it.
Yeah, because like I mean, let's be honest. The Giants, Diamondbacks, Reds, Marlins instill fear in nobody, and I don't think anybody like. Yes, you can get hot. It's still the MLB postseason. These teams can make runs. I'm not saying it's not possible.
And the Giants at least have some pitching in the front of their rotation.
Ish, yeah.
Kind of.
But, like, the idea is that, like, these aren't real playoff teams.
No. Again, I mean, last year some of those wildcard teams did make some noise. So
for sure.
But can't say that.
But you can look at it on a year-by-year basis, too.
Yeah.
And, like, you can look at a Padres roster.
And
be like...
And truthfully, the Padres, a team that was actually passed on Thursday by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the standings.
Whoa.
Which is pretty insane to think about. A team that was April's darling. But... they're a team that still, if they were to sneak into that spot, they would actually be able to make some noise.
1,000%.
Right? Like, that's different. And the American League is a little different because those wild card teams, like the Rays, the Rangers, Mariners, Blue Jays.
Those are all good teams.
You could see a vision for all of those teams to really make some noise, but like the Rays like still are competing for the division.
Maybe not the Rangers. They're kind of losing some pitching.
Yeah,
here.
the Rangers got some bad news this week with former Met Max Scherzer missing the rest of the season, which is a shame. But
Nice.
yeah, shame. And that team actually, it's really funny. They're on a 5-game win streak in spite of that.
Okay.
They finally got hot.
and they beat the Blue Jays. They swept the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the Blue Jays are falling out. And then
Popcorn muscles.
and the Red Sox finally falling out. They fired their general manager or president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom, with 13 games this season, which was weird.
Bizarre.
Yeah, major news this week. But on Thursday afternoon, yeah, weird. Yeah, but it feels like maybe once we get to the playoffs, the juice will come and you'll feel the tenacity. But like these last 2 weeks with the expanded playoffs, just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Reds make it or something.
Probably because we're also not really involved. I think it probably helps.
Huge part of it. Yeah,
and football starting up, although
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is done.
Commanders, though. Want to know?
Left hand up.
Who are we?
Oh, God. But that's it. I mean, great series for the Mets. Win 3 out of 4 from a team that's competing, that's been one of the better teams in the National League for most of the season. Got good pitching from many options. Got a lot of offense from a lot of people. Ronny Mauricio still look great. Pete Alonso's keep putting those stats up. Francisco Lindor keeps playing well. Brandon Nimmo stays hot. Like, just good baseball. Good series at home, Citi Field this week.
And again, guys are playing hard. These games matter to them.
Yes, and more games are going to matter this weekend as Cincinnati Reds are coming to Citi Field. We'll tell everybody out there before we go over the pitching matchups, you should try and just watch Ellie De La Cruz live.
Yeah.
You probably just won't believe it.
Like, if you can get to the stadium early for any of these games this weekend, while they're taking BP, you are going to watch this guy hit. He is a freak.
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz is an alien. He's 6'6". He's the fastest guy in baseball. He's probably has the most power in baseball. It's almost even a shock that he's in the major leagues at 21 years old because he was
So raw.
completely afterthought international prospect. He got like one of the lowest bonuses in his entire pool. He wasn't even a top 30 prospect in the Reds organization as recently as the beginning of 2022.
Shout out me for that stat.
Yeah, shout out Mark who thought of that one organically.
Original.
Yeah, and like even as a 21-year-old who still definitely has a lot of stuff that isn't really working that well. Again, fast guy in the league. He runs the bases so freaking well. Watch this guy cut a base. You won't believe how fast he gets from home to first.
He has 27 stolen bases in 85 games.
Yeah, and he stole one more today, so 28.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
update,
He's a freak athlete. Again, if you can get here to watch him play baseball, that's one thing too. He's going to be playing, but watch him take some BP. I think you could park yourself up in the Coca-Cola corner and have a chance to actually get some balls up there in BP.
Yeah, probably enjoy a few of those because he's a switch hitter as well. I mean, like 6'5", 210, and just plays an amazing shortstop.
Shout out to you. When we were living together during COVID,
Yeah.
you were like, keep an eye on this Ellie De La Cruz guy.
Yeah, right? He was like 17 in the
and
DSL.
I was like, sure, dude, I'll worry about him when I worry about him. And then like the next year's like, oh my goodness, who's Ellie De La Cruz?
Yeah, I got to start putting more of these takes into writing because I really hit that one in the head. But that's why I got to play my Dynasty baseball teams. And he right now is storming through in that championship, trying to help me win one. But pitching matchups for this series against the Reds. Friday night, David Peterson versus Hunter Green. Hunter Green's another guy who is appointment watching.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of a choppy season with some injuries. He's also just on the COVID IL. But he kind of got really, really hot last year at the end of the year and gave people like a taste of his tantalizing potential. Was drafted as a two-way player originally.
He was the hot Cy Young pick of like.
Like who could have been the fun Cy Young pick. But throws 100, devastating slider. He came into the major leagues drafted first overall as a shortstop and pitcher. And they were like, you're just going to pitch. Then he got hurt. Then it kind of looked not so good for a few years. And all of a sudden it just happened very quickly for him. And he is a freak of nature.
I believe he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
I think I do recall that too when he was probably 17th.
Yeah, as a high school baseball player, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They called him baseball's LeBron or the new Babe.
That's wow.
That's an unbelievable would
you rather be?
LeBron.
Yeah. Like, I mean, in his time, I don't think you realize the magnitude that Babe Ruth had.
I know Babe Ruth is the man. I gotta hate the Yankees though.
Babe Ruth,
I love LeBron too. You know I love LeBron.
Yeah,
That's my guy. You hate LeBron.
I don't hate LeBron. I just don't really love LeBron. Who?
Had his own train?
Mark, Babe Ruth they used to send him on a steamboat from California to Japan every offseason and do a tour around the entire country.
He is single-handedly responsible for Japan and Korea loving baseball.
Yes.
I know that.
I believe they have statues for him there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Him, Sadahara was like Babe Ruth is a man.
He used to like travel around and like take batting practice. He used to sell out stadiums to watch Babe Ruth just take BP.
Listen, life was different.
Yeah.
Life was different.
Babe Ruth also fun fact.
I just gotta hate the Yankees.
Babe Ruth was originally a Baltimore Oriole, grew up in a boys' home in Baltimore. He was adopted by someone who became a high-ranking executive for the Orioles, and they eventually traded him to the Red Sox. So if you guys think the Red Sox trade for Babe Ruth, Red Sox to Yankees is bad, he was traded by his legal guardian. So keep that one in mind. That was
Dude, listen. You gotta respect the ball sometimes.
You gotta respect the ball. I mean, hey, money's money back then. But Yeah, for Saturday evening, another 7-10 game. Tyler McGill versus Andrew Abbott, another exciting rookie for the Cincinnati Reds.
He's cooled off a little bit, right?
Cooled off a lot. He started off really hot, but he was one of these guys who had a meteoric rise because of the tacky ball in the in AA, in the Eastern League. And then once he went up, he kind of didn't really look as good. He's still really good. He has a fastball that has really good pitch traits, pitch qualities, but doesn't really throw him that hard.
Like 91 or 92,
yeah,
right?
we call that a precarious fastball.
Ooh,
because,
precarious.
Yes, because like
SAT word,
precarious fastball. So I got that from Eno Saris, Rates and Barrels podcast, The Athletic. When you have a fastball that has a really good shape and really good velocity, if you lose one of those, it's still going to be gross.
Yeah.
Right? And we see that with a lot of guys, like Garrett Cole, incredible fastball. It's great shape and great velocity. It's amazing. Not Edwin Diaz, different. I'm going to get to him in a second. But then you have guys who have one of those things. You have great shape and not good velocity, or great velocity and not good shape. Christian Javier is someone who's fallen victim to that this season because his fastball always sat mid-90s, but it had a great shape. This year, he's lost some hop on it. The shape's not so good. Now it's just straight fastball, 94 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And we're seeing two great Mets pitchers the last few years. Kodai Senga and Edwin Diaz. Those guys have incredible velocity. Shape isn't really that great. You also look at Paul Skeens, number 1 overall pick in the draft. But you're throwing between 97 and 101 miles an hour. So
Nobody
it really
cares.
doesn't matter that much. If you're throwing 97 to 101, the shape is a little bit irrelevant. It
Hunter Green too, right?
Yeah, no, I think Hunter Green has the good shape.
Oh, he has good shape.
Yeah, he's got good shape. DeGrom's a guy who was both of them, of course. Yeah, but
Lanky.
Yeah, Scherzer was a guy who had one or the other. This happened with Verlander beginning of the season, where the velocity went down a little bit and the shape wasn't that great.
Looking at this roster for the Reds, they have one player with 20 homers, but almost everybody has double digits.
The Reds move their players around a lot.
Yes.
They rotate. They're a team kind of like the Orioles, where they have so many guys in the active roster who are kind of the same skill level. And in the 6th inning, you'll be like, oh, there's like 3 new guys in the lineup.
And they're not doing the Diamondbacks thing, giving up.
No, yeah, not quitting. No. And then Sunday matinee, 1:40, Jose Quintana versus Brandon Williamson. Brandon Williamson, another guy who
Figuring it out.
Yes, figuring it out a little bit. He had really bad minor league stats the last few years. He came over in, he wasn't the Winker trade. Connor Phillips was the Winker trade.
I'm going to tell you right now, he came over in the where's transactions?
It was a Mariners trade for sure.
It was was it Eugenio Suarez?
Was that not the same as the Winker trade?
Maybe
Those were the same trade, I believe.
Justin Dunn, Jake Fraley. Yep, it was the same trade.
Okay, and Jake Fraley. So 2 huge pulls for the Reds in that one trade where everyone freaked out. But
Former Met Justin Dunn.
yes, former Met Justin Dunn, Met legend. But Brandon Williamson developed a color just like as he was ending his minor league career, and he's taken that pitch to really good success so far in the majors. And we know that Cincinnati is a really difficult place to pitch.
Super tough.
So having a soft contact pitch like a color that can work against opposite-handed batters is really important. And we've seen Williamson take a step. He's a good ball player. Yep. But these are big games for the Reds. This Reds team was not someone that anyone expected to make the playoffs early in the year, and they have a shot to really shock a lot of people and
shock the nation.
And they are a team that, besides this series, like I think most of us probably in baseball are rooting for to do it.
Oh, I'm rooting for the
Reds.
They're young, outside of
they're exciting, like they're new blood, they're different. It's fun.
They just they got players that are really likable too.
Yes,
like all young guys. I know you've been loving Nick Senzel forever. It's really not coming together.
He's definitely not someone I would possibly even mention.
I know, but I'm just saying, you love him. He's on the team.
Like Nick Senzel's done a lot of good things.
Christian Encarnacion Strand. All their guys are under 30.
You mentioned one guy in the starting lineup,
Joey Votto. Christian Encarnacion Strand plays.
He's
every
more
day.
50-50. I mean, like Jake Fraley, Spencer Steer. Spencer Steer's been awesome.
Jonathan India, Met Killer.
Yeah, Met Killer and Met Fan, one of each. We've talked about Ellie De La Cruz. Will Benson has done a lot of exciting things after being cast off from the Guardians organization. Some of these guys just love hanging in Ohio. I feel like this happens weirdly, like to a good
only
amount
in
of
Ohio.
players.
Meme.
Yeah, only in Ohio. Noelvi Marte, he's been pretty exciting since he came up. He got hit in the face recently, so I hope he.
But I think he's back.
He's back. Okay.
Yeah. They also have Yankee Harrison Bader.
Yes.
And Hunter Renfroe.
Yes. And Joey Votto. Always fun to have Joey Votto in the ballpark.
He's pros pro.
He is a pros pro.
And, of course, Edwin Diaz's brother, Alexis.
Who has become one of the best closers in baseball.
So, in years past, like when we talked about Alexis Diaz, I was like, he kind of just nasty. And
Yeah.
you were always like, something just doesn't add up, though. Has it changed?
I think just what happened with Alexis Diaz is that he has such an obscure release point. This year,
It's so far.
It's so far away. It's also really outward. And him and Edwin always said that. Alexis, I think, had the better fastball, I want to say, and Edwin the better sliders, what they said. But Alexis' slider is like disgusting.
So maybe it's the opposite then. Maybe
But that's what they said, but I was just like, I don't believe them. Because like it's also, he's a closer who throws like 94, 95 miles an hour. So it's always like, I don't know.
But he gets a ton of swing and misses.
The slider is so good. He throws a slider and a fastball each 50% of the time. They're just really disgusting pitches. And like maybe it won't work out, but also the Reds kind of know what they're doing a little bit in pitching development. I mentioned it before, but they're really shrewd in hiring Kyle Body, take all the drive line stuff. Then once he needed the Rays, they got rid of him. Great follow on Twitter, Kyle Body, architect of drive line. But yeah, Alexis Diaz, like, it always did feel like he also walks a lot of guys too. I was always like, 12% walks, 95 miles an hour. Like, it can't really last, but it's lasting. And it looks really good. But Really exciting team, fun team. Maybe this time Alexis Diaz actually gets into a game at Citi Field as opposed to last year.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I guess, no, John, we're not going to do an estimate?
Yeah, no estimate without John.
Yeah.
Not while he's not here.
Yes, Phil. I mean, we're going to tie at the end of the year here. You sure you want to give that up?
I can give one up.
All right.
I can give it up. It's all good. We know I'm wearing a tuxedo again. It's just going to happen.
Opening day, baby.
It's got the tuxedo. Might as well use it.
Yeah.
Anything else to cover?
That's all we got here.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all you hanging out here late in the season. Make sure you follow us on our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the New York Mets YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. Shout out to a fan from Korea that I met this weekend.
Oh, he DM'd me. I told him you were here.
Listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
Didn't get his name, but he says he's from Korea, so I'm sure he knows who he is. I can't imagine there's many. But shout out to you. Follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano.
and me, Giraffe Neck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace out. See you guys next time.